Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone's doing okay. So I'm back. I had a nice holiday with my family. I hope everyone's doing okay. So I'm back to talk about ALS, and today's subject is disability. I saw a video last night from one of the YouTubers I enjoy, and inevitably they talk down and about people on disability, which kind of pissed me off. I mean, you don't know what someone's going through. Not everyone's out to defraud disability. Actually, it's gotten very difficult to defraud disability with the current administration of Social Security in the United States. Okay, so you find out you have ALS. Life-altering, scary time in your life. Depending on your physical ability, are you going to be able to work? It's a scary thing. I mean, I know myself. I was 19 when I started going to college and went into nursing school, and I became a nurse. And I've been a nurse for over 20 years. And actually, I think it's like 23 years. Regardless, I'm not able to practice now, but I will die a nurse. Once a nurse, always a nurse. Okay, so my experience. I had a shift where I was caring for various patients. I had one patient kick me in the head, had another one punch me. Healthcare currently has an endemic workplace violence for healthcare personnel. Luckily, my patients were hospice, so it wasn't physically horrible, but knowing that my weakness was causing me to have difficulty with certain procedures and my balance being an issue, it really made me scared. I had an appointment with my doctor. I discussed with my doctor about the symptoms I was having and my concerns about work. He actually deemed me as unable to work and told me I need to go on disability, which is a hard, bitter pill. I mean, I had my daughter's wedding coming up, Christmas. On average, ALS will cost an ALS patient $200,000 a year. It's an expensive disease. So when you are unable to work, that causes a lot of concern. I had experienced my father's illness, which seeing someone poof taken out of life like that scared me. So I have had a lot of insurance, thankfully. So I have private, short-term, long-term, and I had critical illness insurance. In the United States, we have a program called FMLA, which is Family Medical Leave Act, which gives you 480 hours for job protection, which can, during the time you're going through this, help with having your insurance being paid and that. With my particular organization, my short-term disability, my long-term disability is through that. So I'm currently on short-term disability, and I've expired over my FMLA. When I was told when I get to the long-term disability, they will tell me when to file for Social Security. Okay, so what you need to do when you get the diagnosis is look at all the plans you have. If you have any of the insurance plans in case of illness, any life insurance plans, any of those plans. Some life insurance plans have, if you're below 24 months or less to live, they'll pay out. I've not gone down that road, but I can tell you, make sure you get a spiral or a legal pad and write down who you talk to, when you talk to them, date, time, name. You print out your plan so you know what you are entitled to benefits under these plans. Get copies of all testing you've had done and any letters from physicians. Copies of your radiology, MRIs, your EMG, nerve conduction tests, any labs if you have genetics. Be careful who you share your genetics with. If you have the symptoms of ALS and you've not been diagnosed yet, you can get life insurance, you can get the critical illness insurances, disability insurances. Once you're diagnosed, it may be very difficult, if not able to get covered for ALS. Okay, so just with the critical illness insurance, I can tell you, insurance companies are shady sometimes. We know they want to take our premiums, but not necessarily want to pay out. I had a $90,000 critical illness insurance plan. There's tiers for different illnesses. So on my tier, I got one-fourth of 30,000, so I got 7,500 for my Lou Gehrig ALS lifetime benefit. Joy. So it was very difficult. I had a difficult time getting that. I'm glad that I have a good healthcare team. I'm blessed with them. I got copies of my medical records. I also got copies of the faxes they sent to both my short-term disability and to the critical care illness. So I had the printout confirmation that they were okay faxes. I talked to them and I was told a myriad of different ways, back and forth, one person saying one thing, another person saying another thing. I had to go up to a case manager and ask to speak to a manager. I had to prove that I had copies of that they had received the information, because the story was, here's another 10 days, here's another 10 days, here's another 10 days. They actually went beyond what my state allows. So I basically had to threaten them with lawsuit and being turned into my state attorney general. Not nice. So, but I did get the money. You have to fight. One thing with ALS, when you hear this information, when you feel these symptoms, it's so easy to lay down. I mean, especially when you have the problem with energy conservation. But you have to stand up. No one's out there. You know, I wish there was more help, but no one's out there to advocate for you. Truly advocate for you individually. You have to fight. Now, getting connected with your local ALS chapter will help. Going to an ALS clinic, you'll have more help that way. If not, you have other visits from other doctors you can ask to help. But you've got to fight. Or if you have a family member or friend that's would be willing to help you if you can't yourself. You know, you might not be able to stand and run, but you can sit up and you can do it. You know, you are worth it. So, when you come to the time when you have to file for Social Security if you're not able to work, there's a program in the United States for Social Security called the Compassionate Allowance Program. ALS is under one of the diagnoses that allow this. This expedites your disability. If you're over the age of 65 or 72, you can go directly on your Social Security regular payments. If you're under that age, you will get the disability. And the amount that it is how many quarters you've worked. So, you know, if you worked all your life, you're going to get, you know, a certain amount. Like mine's going to be close to $1,500, but I've worked since I was 19 years old. I've not worked. I've worked 2, sometimes 3 jobs and gone to school. I have been a hard worker. So, you know, it gets me that people are biased against people on disability. You know, you never know what someone's going through. Just by looking at someone, you don't know what's going on with them. So don't speak out. Don't think people are doing fraud. Don't accuse people that are generally innocently getting the help they need. I paid into this, y'all. I'm not going to be able to collect my Social Security. I won't live that long. So whatever disabilities, a little bit of money I've put into the system that Congress hasn't sold out and borrowed against. So when you contact Social Security, you can look up online. I'll try to post the number. Social Security will not text you. They will not email you. they'll send you letters, and they actually record your voice and call you back with your recorded voice. You'll get a letter saying that they'll call you at a certain time. You have to ask for the compassionate allowance. You have to notify them that you have a disease that qualifies for it. They will set up a appointment in office, or they will, if you're of sound mind, they will allow you to have a phone appointment, depending upon your mobility and your ability to get to an office. They will also send you something in the mail. After that, they'll do an interview, and they will send you, if you do the phone one, something in the mail. I was given the advice to write TERI on top of the sheets, which I'm sure stands short for terminal. That will allow them to treat you more gently. General disability will have people will, it takes 2 years. Sometimes there's denials. With the compassionate program, that's much less, and currently it's running 4 to 5 months in my state. With that, you will get Medicare. Medicare currently is $135 out of your Social Security a month. Next year, it'll be $145 a month. When you get your Medicare, you can go online. It's really important. If you don't do it, you will get binged, and you will get penalized for not doing it. There are Medicare Gap programs and Medicare Advantage programs you can get in that cover drugs. They may not cover anything experimental. They're not going to cover the stem cell trials or the ASOs, a trial I'm hoping to get into this coming year. So you can choose that. They'll cover some medicines. It may take a while, a couple months to get on it. So you have to figure out what you're going to do to cover those months until you have income coming in. If you have the short-term disability, I would recommend Aflac, not who I have, but they pay quicker. You just have to budget, and life, no one expects what happens. So if you have a lot of savings, that's great, but the things that matter in life don't really cost money. You need to keep your roof over your head and food and be able to enjoy life, but it doesn't make or break who you are as a person. So keep records. Make sure you have files with all your information, with your medical records. Make sure you keep documentations of who you talk to, when you talk to, who you've talked to, not only for yourself, but for your family members. And hopefully that helps, And if you're somebody that talks against people thinking that everyone's out there to defraud disability, think again. I hope you're never in the situation I am or that these other people with ALS are in. That kind of talk is hurtful. You never know what life is going to bring you, and karma's real. So I hope everyone is having a good day. I hope this helps, and stay positive. There's always hope. All right, y'all, take good care, and I'll bring another video on sometime soon. All right, take care. Bye.